Hello everyone. This is part 2 of our series about factors. We're going to talk about finding factors that are prime. Now I know it's been a little while since we've talked about prime numbers, so we're going to do a little review here. Okay, first let's talk about prime factors. What are prime factors? When you take a number and factoring a number into just prime numbers. So we talked in the last video about finding all of the factors, the numbers that a number can be divided into equally. But when you're finding prime factors, you want to make sure that all the numbers that you find are only prime. So let's talk a little bit about what prime means again, because I know it's been a while since we've talked about this. Okay, the word prime means it is a number greater than 1 that has only two factors, itself and the number 1. Okay, an example of this is 3. The number 3 is a prime number because it only has two factors, 1 and 3. So if you take 3 and you divide it by 3, you get 1. If you take 3 and divide it by 1, you get 3. But there are no other ways of equally dividing the number 3 besides by itself. Okay, so let's take a look at number 5. 5 is also a prime number because it only has two factors, 1 and 5. I can divide 5 by 1 and get the answer of 5. I can break 5 into one equal group. That's what that means. I can also divide 5 into 5 equal groups, and I'll get 1 in each group. So the only way to divide 5 is by dividing it by itself, 5, or by dividing it into one group. And you can't really divide if you're talking about one group. A prime number, you can only do this. There's no other way of breaking it into even groups. So now that we reviewed what prime is, go ahead and actually, why don't you write this in your, I'll wait a second. Go ahead and write this in your vocabulary section of your book. Pause the video and write this information down. Okay, now that you've written this information down, we're going to do a little bit of practice, and we're going to work together. So why don't you flip your book to the next page on the practice section. There is a tool that we can use for finding all the prime factors that are in a number, and that's really what prime factorization is all about, finding just the prime numbers that the number can be broken into. Okay, so it is called the factor tree. Okay, we make kind of a little tree, and I'm going to show you exactly how. So the first problem says find all the prime factors of the number 15. So the first thing we do is write 15. Okay, go ahead and write this into your book. You can pause the video if you need to. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to break that 15 apart. Now when we're doing prime factorization, we only use multiplication. Okay, so what two numbers can I multiply by each other to get the number 15? That's what we're really asking. So when I think about what makes 15, I know that 3 times 5 is 15. Okay, so 3 times 5 is 15. So 3 is a prime number, 5 is a prime number, so my equation is 3 times 5 equals 15. Both of these are prime numbers. That is how I found all the prime numbers of 15. Pretty simple. It can get a bit more complicated, so let's go ahead and work on another one. This one says find all the prime factors of 24. Okay, now I'm trying to think of how can I break 24 apart. I know that 12 times 2 is 24. Now it doesn't matter if you break this into 12 and 2 or if you decide to break it a different way. There are many other ways you could break it. Let's go ahead and do another one over here. Maybe you wanted to break it into 6 and 4. Okay, both of these are correct. So let's find out what happens when we get to the end of our factor tree and see if our answers are the same. So we're going to start by just looking at this one right here. Okay, so 24 breaks into 12 and 2. I know that 2 is a prime number. There's no other way to break it in half except for the number 2 and itself. So that's prime. I'm going to circle it. This one is not prime, so I have to keep going. Okay, how else can I break down 12? Well, I know I can break it in half again. I can go 2 and 6. 2 being a prime number, so I circle it. But 6 is not a prime number. There's more than one way to get 6. So I need to decide what I can do to break that down. Well, I know that 6 is 2 and 3. Sorry about that. Okay, 2 times 3 is 6. 2 is a prime number, but 3 is also a prime number. So now I have 2, 2, 2, and 3. My equation for this then would be 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 should equal 24. Let's see if that's accurate. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 3 is indeed 24. So that is the equation for the number 24. All of them are prime numbers. That's how I know I've done the right thing. Let's try it a different way. Okay, this time we're going to break 24 into 6 and 4. Now, if we do it right, we should get exactly the same answer. So let's see what we do. 4 can be broken down into 2 times 2. I know both of those are prime numbers, so I'm circling them. 6 can be broken down into 3 times 2. Both of those are prime numbers. Look what I have now. 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. Same number sentence, 2 different ways of doing the problem. Okay? So it doesn't matter how you break the number down, as long you will always end up with the same number sentence at the end. All of these are prime numbers, and if you multiply them by each other, you will always get this number that you started with. Now it's your turn to practice. So let's go ahead, and on your practice folder, I have given you a couple of problems to work on. Okay? Your first problem is to find the prime factorization, all the prime factors of 16. I'm not sure if that's really clear, so I'm going to kind of write over it, make it a little darker. Okay? I want you to make a factor tree for 16. When you're done with the factor tree, I want you to write all of those numbers as an equation, just as I did on the other board. If you need to review how that works, please rewind this and go back and watch again. Your second problem is going to be find the prime factors for the number 30. Okay? I know that marker I wrote in is kind of light, so we're going to make it dark there for you. Okay? Then, as soon as you get done with the factor tree on that, write that as an equation. Do those 2 problems, have them ready for class tomorrow, and then also write down any questions that you may have. We'll answer any of those tomorrow and hopefully get your thinking clear tomorrow. Have a great night. Bye.